we've bumped into each other in various points because we both grew up in Nairobi, both attended the same big church. But I'd say we'd seen each other growing up, but we never were really friends because it was such a big church. And I'd say our first memorable meeting was at an airport in Houston in 2007.
I chose to go with a tuxedo, so I went with the Vera Wang black. It's called Black by Vera Wang, but it's actually a gray tuxedo, and that's the color we chose. Gray, lighter gray for my groomsmen. Very, very colorful socks. That's the new thing now. Instead of ties, people are buying socks. You make a statement with your socks. You know, for the longest for men, it's been all about the tie and your tie color, the design. And so we ordered from this company, and the owner writes you a personalized note for every pair of socks you buy. It said, "Thank you for buying our socks. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you have a great year," or something like that. And he signed it.
The men's ties were matching the ladies' dresses. So we had 6 ladies, 6 men, and we picked as you said, we picked the 3 sunset colors that we liked the most. And so the men's ties were matching the ladies' dresses, and the gray color would have gone best with the color combinations we picked for the dresses. So I spent my night at my father's house. We got woken up at 5:30 when one of my bridesmaids arrived so that we could get ready. So for me, I was a little tired, and I didn't want to be a tired-looking bride, so I asked to be let to sleep until 7 a.m., which they graciously allowed me to do. And once I woke up, I showered, and then the feast that was being prepared for the men was ready by the time I was done with my shower. So I decided to eat really quickly because they weren't supposed to see me when they came in. Usually I'm rushing, but for that day I was like, you know what? I want to start my wedding at a nice, relaxed pace so that I'm not stressed and I'm not rushed. Unfortunately, it ended up taking a while for my makeup and my hair to be done.
We drove by to Kemi's house, which traditionally I'm supposed to pick up from the house, but we wanted a little twist to that. Rather than me seeing Kemi for the first time at the house, I wanted to see her walking down the aisle for the very first time. So we came here, and traditionally I have to pay a few things to get into the house. So a big sufuria, lassos, 3 goats, and they said it's easier to just slip an envelope.
I was helped by my mom and my aunts. The dress that I wore first had a corset at the back, so it needed a lot of labor to put it in. It actually took us about half an hour just to get me in the dress and to strap it well and get me looking all ready and decked out. Earlier on, I had prayed with my mom. She's the one who woke me up in the morning. So we had private moments together before the morning. And even on the day before the wedding, we had a chance to pray together and just talk together. And the day before the wedding, she also sat me down with my aunts and they just had a talk with me, gave me advice. So we had a lot of time together.
Kemunto is my daughter. Kemunto is the second born in the family. We have 4 children.
It was an emotional morning. Kemunto has lived away from home for a long time, but you always know that she's coming back. Then she went abroad for university. She's been gone a long time. Medicine's a long course, but you always know that she's coming home. But now the realization is that this time, after the wedding, when she goes and she comes home, my home would not be the first home that she's coming to. She has her own home now. So that was a little bit like an emptiness, you know, that now she's gone. But as the day wore on, I came to the realization, yes, I knew at one point she would be going to her own home, but I've not really lost a daughter, I've gained a son. It's sad, but it's happy at the same time. When we walked down the stairs, I felt a bit weepy, but then I thought to myself, no, this is her happy day. Don't start crying, you'll make her cry. So, yes, it was a hard moment. It was a hard moment. But it was a happy moment too, because you wouldn't want your adult child in your house all her life. It means you've not prepared her properly for society. Because as we rear these children, we know that one day they have to go out and live independently. So that was a culmination of her going out and living independently. So I was proud of her for that.
It got a bit emotional, but we sang hymns as we went down, got down the staircase. My grandfather, who's a pastor, said a prayer. And then after his prayer, it was time to get into the car and go to the church to meet Moses and his men who'd been anxiously waiting.
Takatifu Baba Mungu wa rehema, imekuwa siku ya furaha kwa nyumba ya mtoto wetu Memba na Rora.
During the entire ceremony, we had one of my best friends from high school. Levi Wataka is his name, and he did a fantastic job. Everyone was talking about it. For me, I think the wait felt long just because I was ready to get married, and but the one thing I learned from that wait is that that's a big trait that you should have in marriage, which is patience. So I was patient the whole time and smiled and kept my cool and was relaxed.
I was happy. I was like, wow, it's finally happening. I'm finally getting married to the man of my dreams. We didn't bump into any traffic. The ride was smooth. The drive was good. It was a very good ride. You know, the wedding planners, the coordinators got everyone ready. They made sure the bridal party was there. So I was sitting in the car in the shade, and as soon as we got there, we just got started right away, which was good for me because the one thing I was dreading was arriving at the church, finding an empty church and just sitting in the car waiting and waiting and waiting. We didn't have to do any of that.
That was exciting because it meant that all the preparations and everything that we had worked so hard for was just about to happen. And it was both a level of anxiety, and there was also a level of relief.
I love Handel's Water Music, and they sent us a bunch of songs that they've played. So we told them to do whatever they wanted for the concert. As far as the procession, we wanted the canon in D for the bridesmaids and the groomsmen as they came in. And then for me, I had a hard time finding a bridal march song. I probably listened to about 40 songs. I just kept on Googling on the internet songs for bridal procession. And at the end of the day, we ended up just settling with Here Comes the Bride. But the twist that we had to it is that there's this version by this musician called Jonathan Cain that Moses and I just thought was really beautiful. So we ended up having the Jonathan Cain version of Here Comes the Bride. It was simple and classic, and I just loved it. I remember during the rehearsals, just hearing them play it and walking down, I almost shed a tear. I was like, this is a beautiful song that I want to walk down to. It was mixed emotions, because on one hand I was very happy and excited to be getting married to the man of my dreams. On the other hand, there was nervousness, and on the other hand, I was just so happy to see so many people, and again, sad to be leaving my family, because in our culture, they say when you leave your family, and so there's so many emotions going on. But overall, I was extremely excited. There was some anxiety. So it was mixed emotions, but overall really happy. I was fighting back the tears, because I was just so emotional. I was fighting back the tears, but I was like, I'm not gonna cry, and this is a beautiful day. I'm walking with my parents who've raised me so well. So it was a very emotional experience, all in all, very mixed emotions, from the anxiety to the excitement to the joy, to the nostalgia, a lot of emotions going on.
Looking into both parents' eyes, and this is their daughter who they raised all these years. That was really beautiful. I felt more of they trusted me, which was an honor, and also the weight of responsibility. I felt it at that moment, because they did a phenomenal job raising her, and letting her go and putting the trust on this young man was something very, very special.
But as I'm seeing him walking down, he's looking so handsome, and I'm like, wow, this is the man that I'm gonna be walking in his hands for the rest of my life. So it was a very touching moment for us. When I just held his hand, they switched the song. They were actually playing the bridal march, and as soon as we held hands, they switched the song to All My Life, which is his favorite song. And it was just so nice walking down to All My Life, realizing that we'll be spending all our lives together, and we'll never have another. I'll never have another lover sweeter than you. So it was very symbolic. It was very nice.
The parents of the bride, as they have already verbalized their willingness, can they also raise up their hands? Can we say big amen to the parents?
It's difficult to put emotions into words, but you don't want to show tears, but of course you know that you are giving away what you cherished. But at that time, you are also convinced that you are doing the right thing, because I have an option of saying no. You just pray that God, please take care of my daughter through Moses, and let them have a good life together.
Honestly, I was thinking, now that Kemunto is gone, I hope Moses is going to take good care of her. She has been a good girl. She has been excellent. He's getting a wonderful person. I hope he'll cherish her. I know when I watch their interaction, I know that he loves her, I know that he respects her and elevates her. But in marriages, you never know how it's going to turn out. So as I was walking down the aisle, I was just saying, Lord, please let Moses take care of my daughter. That was my foremost thought as I walked down the aisle with her.
May I ask you to do your confirmation that she is the right person that you will wish to share vows with?
Where the pastor made me see Kemi for the first time. When she walked down the aisle, I could see her under the veil, which she looked very beautiful. But when I saw her after unveiling her, that was also a very special moment.
I, Moses Onyari Osoro, take you, Kemunto Mukaya, to be my lawfully wedded wife.
We ended up deciding to go for the classic vows that the church had for us. I had wanted to do personalized vows, but the preference was for using those vows, which I really liked because they're very beautiful, meaningful vows.
Right.
As long as we both shall live, according to God's holy ordinance, so do I promise to you, God help.
It was the Mary Chapman version of
We did
Grow
the
Old
Mary
Along
Chap-
with Me.
Yeah.
And we had a good friend of the family sing the song.
Right.
Her voice was heavenly. We planned to grow old together and, you know, till death do us part. So it was very meaningful for us to have that song playing and
Right.
just to sign those certificates and make it real.
Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking this is real. We're putting it down in stone. It's a legal document with that blue pen. We are, you know, we're stuck together and it's awesome.
Kemi sang a song to me in front of the church. I did not know. This caught me off guard. And everyone else knew about it except me.
Tomorrow morning if you wake up and the sun does not shine, I will be here. Singing the song was a very meaningful thing to do, to just mirror all the reassuring words that he's been telling me. So the song basically says, tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not shine, I will be there. If in the dark we lose sight of love, hold my hand and have no fear, because I will be there.
The woman of my dreams, singing this song in front of all my family and friends and in front of God. There's nothing more as a man I could ask for.
And Mrs. Moses Onyari Osoro.
The conservative SDAs don't kiss in church, and my grandfather, who's an SDA pastor, was there. So I think the pastor wanted to give us leeway. So really, after we said our vows, he's like, Moses, take your bride, and you know what to do. So he left it very open-handed for us. If we wanted to hug, we would have hugged, and people would have clapped, and it would have been okay. If we wanted to kiss, we would. So we decided to seal it with 3 kisses.
3 kisses.
3 kisses.
No one will tell you what to do.
And they are no longer 2, but 1. So we would wish them to demonstrate and sign out. It is known as signing what? Signing out.
My sister, who was the maid of honor, went in with me. We'd practiced the dresses before, so she knew exactly how to take out the Magister Tarot dress and to how to put on the other dress.
Well, I had a job interview in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. And one of my good friends told me, hey, you know, when you're up there, you should take a drive up to Sedona. It's around the Grand Canyon area. And I looked it up online, looked really nice. I was like, you know, I think I'm ready. And this seems to be a nice spot. So I invited Kemi over to come for the weekend because it's pretty close to where she was staying at that time. And, you know, I made reservations at this really nice restaurant by the water. Then I talked to the folks, told them what I wanted to do. And we arrived there. And the plan was to pretend that the restaurant was completely full. There was no space. And then, you know, then Kemi would be like, oh, I should be disappointed. So they asked them, hey, can we walk around, take pictures? And they're like, we don't usually allow that, but we'll let you do that. So we walked around, and there was this table, you know, that was isolated right by the water. And I asked Kemi, hey, you know, have a seat there, let's see. She's like, are you sure you can do this? We're like, yeah, just go ahead, have a seat. She took a look at the table. There was a card that had her name saying, I love you, Kemi. And she was like, huh. Then I told her, yeah, that's our table. So we sat down and had dinner.
He kept us cool. We had a normal conversation. Most people propose a dessert. So at some point I was like, this place is so romantic. He's going to propose a dessert. It's going to be a cake saying, Kemi, will you marry me? But then dessert came and went. No proposal. Yeah. We had tea, no proposal. So I was losing hope. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen, but this is one of the most romantic dinners I've had. And then suddenly the waitress comes to give us the bill, and we haven't had any pictures taken together, so he asked her to take the pictures, and as she was taking the pictures, he got down on his knees and he proposed, and you know, it was the best moment of my life, and I obviously said yes, and yeah, it made me very happy, and it was a wonderful surprise. We had alpine tents, and we just loved the way they looked. I was really happy with our florist. We gave her the hard task of incorporating the sunset spectrum into the wedding and the reception, and so she had to somehow do the decorations in a way that the colors wouldn't clash. The way she had decorated them and the way she just went through the colors, it looked very nice. I was very happy with the final product. So we tried to integrate a travel theme into the wedding, which, you know, as part of the things, we were like, should we do an airplane? Should we do a train? But then at the end, we're like, oh, let's do a bicycle because we want to start our life simple, and a bicycle is the most simple vehicle that you can use. And, you know, as we journey along life together, we'll advance from bicycle to simple car to other things. Kicked up, I wanted a bicycle, but they couldn't make a bicycle. Yeah. So instead, they put the two of us, suitcases and a map, just showing our passion for travel, and like just us beginning this journey together. Distance relationship, I was in California, he was in Tennessee, so just by nature of our relationship, we had to fly a lot to see each other. Every month we had to travel to see each other. So we've traveled quite a bit, and we haven't seen a lot of the world, but that's our goal, to explore God's world, try out different countries and different cultures, and just see what the world has to offer, see what God has created, see how other people live, how other places look. It's an SDA thing that the ring ceremony is not done as part of the main ceremony. Yep. So for the two of us, we did want to have a ring ceremony, but we had to wait until the reception to do it.
Kemunto, you have received a special husband. You can imagine what this means. The hearts are already sealed, but for man to see you are married, you want to put a ring. I now invite the best man and the best lady to start the process of sharing the rings.
last born. Toka nacheza hivyo.
The speech that I like the most, and I'm not being biased, I really loved my dad and my mom's speech. My dad ended up wearing, so my dad came in a different outfit for the reception also. And actually, you tell it better than I do.
Yeah, so my father-in-law came up and said, you know, hey, it is me, which was really funny. You know, everyone just thought it was hilarious. He talked about how many years ago was it?
35.
35 years ago, he had gotten married. And he talked about how, you know, beautiful the wedding was back then. And the one thing he mentioned is that during the evening party, he wore a certain suit. And he told the crowd, the suit that I'm wearing right now is the suit I wore 35 years ago at my wedding evening party. And just to make sure the lady who was hosting the evening party was in the crowd, he asked her to come by and confirm if that was the case, and she did. She said that's the exact suit that he wore for his evening party.
About 35 years ago, there was a wedding, not as elaborate as this one, because I'm not as meticulous as my daughter Kemunto. 35 years ago, we had a wedding. Are you here, Pauline? We had a reception at Pauline's home. I'm bringing you here, Pauline, is to confirm. At that time, actually, I wore a suit. The suit Moses that I wore is a suit I'm wearing now. Am I right?
I am here to confirm it is the one, because the evening party was in my house.
He is a very healthy person who exercises and eats right, and that was a challenge to myself. Okay, I plan to wear my tuxedo when I give my daughter away. Yeah.
And he just talked to us about preserving good things,
Yeah.
and just being mindful of what we have, preserving what we have,
Yeah.
preserving our health, which is the most important thing, take care of each other and guard our love. So I love that speech.
Everything we did was communicated through
Email
and Skype. Then, of course, we had family on the ground as well. So I'd say a whole year of planning with a lot of help.
No, we chose Kenya because it's where we both grew up. It's where a bulk of our family members are. My grandparents, my parents, all my uncles and aunties. And we just felt that because we grew up with them, these people raised us. We wanted to have our wedding at home where they could all be present, as opposed to in the US where it's just friends who met us later on in life. Because at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water and family stands with you. And we just wanted to share in this joyous moment with our family members. Somehow ended up having 2 dresses for the wedding because the first dress was ordered from this Canadian designer called Liz Simon, but it takes her a while to produce dresses. And so a month before the wedding, the dress wasn't ready, and I was freaking out that I wouldn't have a dress. So I ended up buying another Maggie Sotero dress just in case the other dress didn't arrive. And then at the end of the day, both dresses ended up arriving at the same time. And I just ended up doing 2 dresses for the wedding. One of them was really heavy, so that one was done for the church ceremony. That was the Maggie Sotero dress. And then the Liz Simon dress was more fun and it was lighter, and that one was perfect for the dancing at the reception. I think things I would do differently. Probably in the morning I would have been a little bit more rushed so that where everything would have started earlier than it did, because we're a bit late, and the reception I think was perfect, but it felt a little rushed towards the end. So that's what I would do differently. But other than that, I was very content. All in all, yes. I was very happy at the end of the day, and I would definitely say I had a dream wedding. Yes, because I'm a meticulous person, and sometimes I overdo things. But I was happy. It was a dream wedding. Yeah, I'm Kemunto's younger sister and her maid of honor. And in the wedding, I helped her plan most of the things in Kenya. We all had to fly down from various places in the world to get this together. It was an honor, to be honest, with you, because she's my elder sister. It was also really, really hard because I had to take care of all the nitty-gritties, especially on the wedding day. The title Maid of Honor does not come easy. I really was her maid of honor. I was running around and making sure that everything surrounding Kemi and surrounding the wedding was in place. And I've never done this before. I've never been a maid of honor before, so it was like learning on the ground, but I think we nailed it. Yeah, we had a bridal shower here in the house. We had all our the maids attend and all her friends from high school. It was a bit hard because Kemi hasn't been in the country for very many years, so like most of her friends are based in America, but we managed to pull it together. The highlight was my sister getting married, my older sister getting married. And of course, she's the only sister I have. She's my best friend, she's my sister, she's my role model. So the highlight was just Kemi getting married. And of course, the reception was a huge hit, in my opinion. The whole event was just a highlight for me. The theme of the wedding was sunset in the savannah. So the bridesmaids and the candle girls had to wear the different colors that represent the sunset in the savannah. She's very intelligent. Extremely intelligent. When everybody else was reading, she was like drawing comics and writing novels, and she still made it to Yale. So Kemi is extremely intelligent, she's beautiful, she's kind, she's the best sister anybody could ask for, and she's just an amazing person. And the fact that so many people flew here from America and Canada and London and South Africa and Ghana to be here for her day, it speaks volumes. Like, so many people were willing to invest in coming to Africa to be here for her wedding, so she's just an amazing person, and I love her. Yeah.
Kemunto and Moses having met and living outside the country, it was quite involving for us, but thanks to the services of the wedding planner, the family support and the friend support, everything worked quite well. Right from the very beginning, take an interest in what they do in school, what do they do in church, which kind of friends do they associate with, and encourage them as much as possible. You mentioned Kemunto being Ivy, yes, but all my children, from the eldest, the son, Momanyi, is a medical doctor. Obviously, it requires somebody who is organized to be a medical doctor. The same with Kemunto. Mora, the daughter that you met, she's been to very prestigious universities as well, Ivy League type of university with a master's. That means obviously she's been also very organized and very coordinated and very meticulous, and we're very proud of her. The last born, Nyakundi, also has been to one of the best universities abroad. But I encourage couples, I encourage parents to spend time with their children, to see what they are doing, that their homeworks are done. If there is a school event, or the parents are called to go to a school to discuss with the teachers and with the headmaster, please honor those appointments so that you are able to keep up with what's happening. The moment the children realize that you are taking an interest in what they are doing, they tend not to offend you, so they try to do their best so that they don't discourage you. Children, as they grow up, they look at their parents as really everything. They know that is the source of everything that they have. If they realize that you are following up what they do, they also try to do their best.
I think in addition to what my husband has said, for us, we believe children are a gift from God. And when God gives you a gift, you look after it. I used to spend a lot of time with the children, reading with them, interacting with them, playing with them. So you know what their thoughts are, they know what your thoughts are, and you guide them. It might be difficult for a lot of couples these days. They have challenging jobs, so they leave their children with the house helps. But I advise mothers, especially, dads are always busy, though it's good when both of you interact with their children, but spend time with your children. You instill your values in them. They get to know what your values are, and they try to live up to those values. We've always set high standards for our children because we believe, for me, I believe that God expects the best from you. So give them your best and help them to grow and achieve their best. And once they realize that you have a high standard and that you know they can do it, and you're there to encourage them, I think all children are capable of being successful in whatever they choose to be.